Chases in Onyx. Chases can be a really great alternative to effects when you want something really specific to happen in time, especially with multiple parameters. So the effects engine in Onyx can do a number of things well, but there's some things it really doesn't do well, or that you might want to do with an effect and you just can't seem to do it. Some of these would be doing very specific chases or effects between very specific colors, which in our next video, Dylos is another option there. So if you want a very specific jumping between different colors on your lights, then sometimes a chase is going to be the best bet. Others are if you're working with multiple parameters and you want them to do specific things that aren't just take this parameter, have it do an effect that swings, from this center point to here to here. You might have something a little more complex. So for our first situation, I want to run through building a chase. So a chase is just a type of cue list where you have a bunch of individual cues and then they run through it. The other really great thing about chases, which Dylos actually has the ability as well, is the ability to follow BPMs or tap tempo, the speed. So when it comes to building a chase, it's very simple. Let's go ahead. This time we'll use our fuse washes. And let's just say we're going to use that first example where we want to do half the fixtures, maybe just the left ones, okay, in white, and half the fixtures in green. Let's do magenta. And maybe on the white fixtures, we want to, oh no, I've got different fixtures. I've messed it up. Okay, hold on. So on the left fixtures, we want to do it white. On the right fixtures, we want it to be magenta. Sure, why not? We'll record that as a cue. This time a chase. Now notice when you record, this is key too, the last type that you record is automatically highlighted. So you may need to change it, but if you use the last type already, you don't. And then we go white here, and we go magenta here. This is kind of the typical like police lights chase, right? Kind of thing. Okay, and just for fun, now I'm gonna keep them where they are. So I'll go record as a cue. Again, I could have hit enter if I hadn't clicked off that cue list. Okay, and then we'll see what we have when we play the chase. We just have a chase that goes between those two colors. It is the color mix on these lights. And you can see that happen. But we have some options to make it look a little bit better. So the first is going to be, and I'm just going to go ahead and just temporarily turn off my other stuff so that we can see a little better. So it looks like we got everything except the center fixture maybe. It's a little wonky, but we can work with it. I'm just going to record this over here, have a clear programmer. Okay, so there are some ways that we can customize and work within that chase. And I think, yeah, it looks like that center fixture is not part of the chase. That's okay, or not part of the groups. We'll work with it. So if we go here and press this cog, we double tap and press the cog to hit the cue list options. We have a couple different options here. One is to adjust the BPM. So we can, for example, type a different BPM in here. Oops. Or we can go up with it. I admit that interface is a little weird, but here I got it highlighted and now it says set chase rate. And so now I just sped it up. We have the ability to use the beat or sound trigger. So we can turn that on and we can grab those from Dylos. We'll do those in a few minutes, but not right now. And we also have the ability to enable tap sync or leave it on the show default. Okay, and tap sync would allow you, it pauses it, but it allows you to press the flash button to tap it, which can be really handy. Here, I'll do it with the play button, actually. Actually, it's the play button, sorry, not a big chaser myself. And you see, it tap syncs automatically, adjust that BPM as we go. The other part is the fade percent. So right now the chase is fading between the two colors. I don't really like that. I'd like it to be much faster. So it's 100%. If I set that to 0%, okay, now it's a true chase. But I can go anywhere in the middle as well. So for example, if I go to 25%, I get just a little bit of a soft fade, but mostly a hard cut. So 25% of the time it fades, the rest it waits, and then it fades the next. So that's the basics of a simple color chase. Let's talk about just really quickly a time where you might use a chase simply because you're doing something more complex within Onyx. Say, for example, I just go and I'm like, okay, I want to take these two fixtures, and first I want to point them to this specific position. Hope they're not on. At full. So I want to go, let's just go to keys, okay? Record as a chase. And then I want to go to lead singer. Record, enter. Then I want to go to drums. Guitar. In the air. Okay? And, you know, I want to go between these different positions, and maybe I wanted to change color, or maybe I stored something else in those cues. Now you can see I'm chasing between something that I really couldn't do with a normal effect because I'm calling out very specific values that I'm going between. Moreover, I can go and actually change the way that it plays through the cues. So default it plays forward, it could go backwards, it could go bounce, which is go forwards and then come back. Or, for the most fun, you can go random, press play again, because that obviously dumps the cue because it can't really switch order while it's playing. And now you can see it's just going to choose random. So that's one of those things that you can do with chases that you're just not going to do with a regular effect. It's not the right tool for it. As I mentioned, things like using timing with the beat button and some other attributes are actually part of Dylos, pixel mapping engine inside of Onyx, and Dylos can do so much more. So I'm going to dive into the very basics of using Dylos in our next video. Let's dive in. Thanks.